I have been in this space of some like, where one, the Lord has allowed me to be in a space of where I've been very introspective, and at the end of the day, I know that like when people say that, it can sound cliche, but there's a difference between like, when I think of self-care and like, you know, taking care of your mental health and all that stuff, that's one thing. But on the flip side of that, when it's me sharing my testimony from the perspective of like, this is what God has done in my life, and I don't want to come off as like the, you know, church girl, like, even though I am, because that's part of the testimony too. But this is the thing, like, I want to make it clear that I am still a work in progress, okay? Okay, I need to zoom in so y'all can get the I'm still a work in progress. I got to put these disclaimers out because I don't, you know, look, I am very much a Peter, okay, and a David, okay? Like, there's things that the Lord has had to teach me and I've had to learn the hard way, you know? And that's also a primary reason why I want to share my testimony, because I don't want other people to have to go through certain things if they don't have to, you know? I want other people to go through some of the things that I went through. And I think that especially like in this social media age where, you know, again, one, I couldn't imagine growing up during this time. That's another thing. I'm a millennial, okay? I am a millennial. So, and I'm not, because, you know, sometimes the millennials get a bad rap, okay? But we be knowing stuff, okay? Yeah. So, but that's a conversation for another day too. I'm gonna talk about that at some point. But, you know, I think the cool thing about millennials is that we grew up in a time of where, you know, the internet was starting to merge with real life. That sounds like, what am I trying to say? Like, we still remember before the internet, but I was, what? Oh Lord. Was I in high school? I think it was like the end of my senior year when, not end of my senior year, but around towards the end of high school was when Facebook and all that stuff started to really be popping, you know? So, and another thing, I do need to do another disclaimer, because when it comes to me talking about time periods, I'm going to, because one, I do have, that's another thing, when it comes to math sometimes, because that's a part of the testimony too, dyscalculia, we're gonna talk about that. But you know, now look, when sometimes the math don't be mathing in certain things, but the math be mathing, and I understand the math, and when the math don't be mathing in certain things, okay? So, but when it comes to me talking about time periods, I'm gonna categorize things basically like childhood, early 20s, middle 20s, late 20s. That way, that helps me, because otherwise, if I'm trying to remember the exact dates to stuff, the way my brain is set up now at 33, yeah. But best believe I remember every single thing that happened, and I do got receipts in case ninjas want to act funny. So, me sharing what I'm saying is, again, because I don't, when I'm sharing some of these things, because there's this saying, or was that cat? Man, it was somebody that said something like, one, if you wanted to have basically a different role in my story, you should have treated me different. And so, you know, that's number one. But two, I don't want this to be like a trauma dump, okay? Now, there's trauma and pain within the story, but I want the focus to be more on overcoming things and joy, because that's where I'm at in my life. The 92%, look, I don't know, that's another thing, because it's so much, okay, let me focus, because it's a lot. And I just want the way that I tell my story to be in a way of like me learning wisdom, you know, and I want it to be in a way of me learning wisdom and me taking something from these experiences. Because I think that was one thing when I was younger, was like, again, I didn't understand why certain things had to happen the way that it happened. And so that in itself can create resentment, it can create anger. And you know, the angry black woman trope is, you know how people love to run with that, because baby, that was, we gonna talk about that too, because you know, because we, anyways, because see, I'll go, that's why I got to really focus, because I'll go off on another tangent about something else, and then yeah, we got to stay on on track, okay, on to the destination of telling the testimony, okay.